So, hello. Today I am in the Zoom room with Tina, who is a holistic health and wellness coach. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So, Tina, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help people.
Yeah, basically, as you said, I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. I specialize with menopausal women going through that menopause journey to help them rebalance their body again. And I like menopause because it's really number one, a very misunderstood area, but number two, it's an opportunity for women to take pause and to reassess their body and to nourish it in the ways that they can naturally and holistically. Um, because if we can create that foundation of doing the things that are going to create a healthy environment within our body, then then if we do need assistance from, say, the medical world, then we are working from a kind of a clean slate because then we know exactly what we need support with. The problem with is if we're not doing the right things holistically, or like we're not making the right lifestyle choices, then you might take a medication for anxiety or for maybe the hormones, but you're really just putting a band-aid on the problem,
Yeah.
right? Right? We can't just do one thing and think that everything's going to be fixed. We really have to take ownership of our body and support it in the ways that it needs to be supported to create the health and longevity that we want. And if we're seeking for help, that is more than likely at the forefront of women's minds is that they want to thrive in life. They don't want to be tired all the time. They don't want to have aches and pains in their body or that brain fog or hot flashes, night sweats, and all of those symptoms that come along with the menopausal journey.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds very, very interesting. So, how did you get into this line of work?
Well, actually, it started not menopause per se, but just getting my health back to where it needed to be because I was in a job. I was a freelancer as a statistician working for big pharma. I didn't have any healthy boundaries. So I was working all the time. I was working Monday through Sunday. I didn't have that separation between family life and work life. And I burnt out. I burnt out to the point that I just couldn't look at another number, another spreadsheet, another program. And I just said at that moment, I was 49, and I said, I have to retire. I can't do this anymore. And I didn't know what I was going to do because, I joke with people. It's like some people become Walmart greeters. I'm going to become, because I wanted to do something to help me get my health back.
Right.
So I became a personal trainer. So I just got into the fitness world, got kind of trained in that world, and was helping my clients and realizing that they had a lot of nutritional questions. And although I knew a lot about nutrition, I wanted to really know about nutrition. So I went back and got educated in holistic nutrition. And then I realized there still was a piece of the puzzle missing. They're eating well, they're exercising, but they're still not getting the results that they want. And that's when I fell into mindset, right? And how powerful the mind is in creating our outcomes, our behaviors, the internal environment of our body. And having a clear understanding of that mind body connection really like lit my fire. And it's like, I have to know more about that. At the same time, my sister was going through menopause. She was 5 years older than me. And the answers that she kept getting was, it's just menopause, push through it, you're fine. And she ended up passing away. Suddenly, we didn't even know what was wrong with her until afterwards we realized that she was full of cancer. And so that really kind of set my path on all, overdrive because it's like, I got to figure this out, right? Because I was going down the same path as her and I needed to figure out what was going on. And I didn't quite understand the menopause per se, and all of the problems that came with it until I got really close to the menopause, because menopause is from peri to post, right?
Mm.
So I was having some symptoms, but it didn't really hit me until menopause. And then I thought, oh my gosh, now I get it. I understand what everybody's going through. And the old things that worked for me didn't work anymore. And I thought, I got to figure this out. And so I did a deep dive into what's going on in the woman's body. Why is it different? How do we need to support it differently than what we supported it in the past? And that's how I kind of got into this work. And I created a whole method around that called the mental balance method that, that kind of guides women into what needs to be done to dial in their lifestyle choices to really enhance their body. And then if they need additional support, as I said, then they can seek at that at the, and know that they're getting the right support that's needed in that moment, whether it's supplementation, medication, or what it might be. Yeah.
Good, good. That sounds really interesting. And you seem to be very passionate about this. What is it, first of all, the clients get out of this, and then what do you get out of this?
Yeah, I mean, it does light my fire because our body is such a fascinating thing, and we have the ability within ourselves. Our body has an innate ability to heal itself, and that's so cool because if we just support it so it can heal itself, we can reverse a lot of the problems, like the anxiety, like like the hot flashes, like the weight gain. All of those can be reversed if we're supporting it in the right way. Even some of the autoimmune diseases that we may experience, MS, cancer, and Alzheimer's, they're all a function of the immune function and the microbiome within our body. And when we can heal that and support it, then our body doesn't have the environment for these things to occur. And that's what's exciting. And I want to just educate people because, the one thing when I was trying to seek help on the menopause, there wasn't a lot of information out there. Like doctors weren't quite understanding it, but now we're in a period where we're really starting to understand what's going on in the woman's body. And it's not, before we were kind of, oh, leave her alone. She's going through her menopause thing, right? Don't rock the boat over there. And we're kind of pushed aside. But now I want to give women a voice to say, no, this is a really good transitional time in my life. And I have the power within me to create the next chapter of my life in whatever way possible. And so I really kind of pieced everything in about a year ago of what the mental balance program looks like. And, and I've run 3 cohorts of people through it, just to see, the way I see it and what worked for me is working on other people as well. And the profound results that I'm getting from the people that are going through this, it's like, one person came in and she said, like I was waking up at 4 o'clock every morning and I was in a panic attack for 3 hours. And I would do everything in my might to get myself together so my husband didn't wake up seeing me in this state. And she was really a mess when she came to me. And now she's like, it's totally transitioned her. Like she lost all this weight. She lost 26 pounds. Her anxiety went away. She's learned how to create those healthy boundaries because what was happening was she has 5 children and they were all demanding her time and they're all adults. And so able to, say, wait a second, I need to create those boundaries, those healthy boundaries in a good way for both parties. And just, she's just able to function through life so much better because she's got this all dialed in now.
That sounds really, really interesting. And those are such good results when you can get those for clients. How does it feel to work like this?
Well, it doesn't even feel like work to me because I enjoy it so much. It's fun. It really challenges my brain because I think this is part because I was a statistician. I think I mentioned that in my intro, but I was a statistician for many years, 25 years to be exact. And so my mind works in patterns and piecing things together. And it's like, okay, that's not quite working. So what can we do instead? And it's that it's almost like creating that puzzle of what's going to work because everybody's individual.
Yeah.
Everybody has everybody's body functions in a different way, and so understanding what it is for that individual and being able to piece it's becoming the detective, right? And that excites me because it's a challenge for me. I guess under all of that, it's really the challenge, and I love challenges. And that's what it kind of excites me about this
I
work.
can
So I don't think of it as a job. I think of it as a fun expedition.
I can totally relate to that. Working with clients, it's quite interesting. It is like a detective journey, is that everybody's different and not the same thing works for everybody, but there
Hmm.
are patterns there. And some of the most challenging ones sometimes can be the most rewarding as well. To see clients
Absolutely.
go on and get those results, that's really good. And to be taking care of people's mental health and sort of nutritional health is such a big thing. So, on that note, if you were to go back to a younger version of you and give yourself a tip about mental health, the best way to look after it and improve it, what would that be?
Yeah. Like as a child, we internalize a lot of things, right? And we make it about us. And that's where our limiting beliefs kind of stem from is
Mhm.
our what beliefs that we acquire that we make about us during those very impressionable years, usually 0 to 7. And so, what I would say to my younger self is it's not about you, it's about them, right? It's not about you. So, for instance, if you see your parents fighting all the time and you internalize, if I just am quiet, if I don't ruffle the feathers, if I just kind of stay in the corner, then they won't fight. But that's a belief system that's gets deeply rooted, especially if it happens over and over again and you continue to create that belief system because what we focus on expands. And then as a young child, you grow up into adulthood and you're still carrying that deep rooted belief system. It's going to show up in how you show up. So that person, that young child who didn't wanted to be quiet, not ruffle feathers, might be somebody who's in a meeting that's not expressing their ideas, right? They're not, disagreeing or giving another perspective because they don't want people to think they're trying to be difficult. So this is how it can affect you in your adulthood. So getting so I think what I would tell my younger child is don't take it personally. It's not about you.
Yeah, I like that. And what do you do proactively to look after your own mental health?
Oh gosh, I do so many things. Um, I I do I go for lots of walks. I love walking in nature because to me it's like that connection with Mother Nature. It just puts me in that calm space. And when I'm in a calm space, that's when my creative juices just start flowing. That's when all my ideas come to flourish. And I just love it. Just even just sitting by a tree and journaling is one of my biggest things. The other thing that I really enjoy doing is I have an infrared sauna.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like my sanctuary. So I go in there every morning. So it's kind of like a dual. It's kind of like a meditation space for me, but also it allows me to helps detox my body because with the infrared, it really gets to the organ level. So it can extract out those toxins out of your body via the sweat. And so I do that a lot. And I meditate. I meditate, and yeah, that's mostly what I do.
Good, good. And what's usually the sort of first thing you would say to your clients to get them started? If they were wanting to get help with the menopause, what's the first way they should sort of move to do that?
Yeah, I would first find out what is the biggest pain point for them. And then I would ask them, what simple move could you do to move that needle forward into what you truly want instead? Because I use the 80-20 rule a lot, the Pareto principle. And I'm all about simplicity. So what is the power move that you can do right now, that's only going to take like maybe 20% of your effort, but it's going to give you 80% of those results? Because we don't want to fix everything, right? But we want to fix those power moves. And if we take one chunk at a time, and that's all we focus on, because as I said, when we focus on things, they expand. So we just focus on that one thing, not the whole picture where you want to go, but that one thing that's going to move the needle. And then once you have evidence that, yeah, I've made this significant change in my life, what's the next thing I could do? And so just doing it that way, where you're just taking one piece at a time, and it's not, doesn't become overwhelming, and it gives you the evidence that, you know, what you're doing is powerful.
I like that. That's really simplifying things and avoiding the overwhelm, I think, is so important. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people do, they just get too overwhelmed. And that's why finding a professional like yourself really helps people along on the journey. So if people wanted some help with this, what is the best way for people to get hold of you?
Yeah, like either just reaching out via email, Tina at renewyoucoach.com. So that's all spelled out, Renew You Coach. I do have a lot of free stuff on my Linktree account, which is linktr.ee for Linktree, and then dash renew you underscore coaching. So
Brilliant.
those are two ways that you can kind of see what I'm up to. You know, get on my Facebook channels or YouTube, or get some free information there.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that. It's been lovely to talk to you, Tina. That's been really interesting. Hopefully we can speak again in the future. And thanks to everybody who's watched this. We will have some more podcast episodes coming along shortly. Take care, everyone.